Cars.co.za.
Budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.
So McLaren says that this is their Grand Tourer, the 570 GT. It's been modified to make it more comfortable, more practical for touring around the country, touring around Europe, touring around the United States of America. And so we thought today we'd push that one step further. What we wanted to do is try and answer the question, can you daily a McLaren? Given that this is the most practical McLaren they've ever made. And so you join me in a pretty typical day in my life. First things first, coffee. Nothing really happens before coffee. So let's go there. Right, here's my coffee spot. Now, thankfully, McLaren have given this car a reverse camera and full park distance control. And I'm going to be able to reverse this in. Man, that was some bloody impressive parallel parking, even if I do say so myself. Yo, look at that. That's a beautiful coffee. Righty. Okay, now the next problem is, can you get into a McLaren with a coffee in your hand? Boom! Right. This car has 3 drinks holders. Pretty impressive. Very convenient. Okay, let's go. Now, even though this is a GT, it still benefits from McLaren's lightweight construction techniques. The entire tub is carbon fiber, and so this car weighs just over 1,500 kilograms with a full tank of fuel and a driver. That is quite light for a GT. Now, normally when manufacturers make GTs, they don't bother with carbon fiber because A, it's very expensive, and B, when you're buying a GT, you're not looking for that lightweight supercar experience. And so what McLaren's trying to do here is blend the best of supercars with the best of Grand Tourers. So have they succeeded? Well, one thing they did not compromise on at all is the power. We've got 465 kilowatts in here, 630 newtons, from a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 hiding under the rear luggage deck. Now that is an astonishing amount of power. If you think how fast, say, the Mercedes E63 is or BMW M5, those have about the same amount of power, but they weigh a good 2 tons, a good half a ton heavier than this. And so this car will do 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds. That's quick. That's really quick. That's definitely quicker than your average Grand Tourer, that's for sure. Oh, that's nice. So this is my main drag. This is down the road from where I stay, Sea Point Beach Road. Something's happening. I've connected my Bluetooth to the sound system. Let's see here. Hello.
Yes, you still answer my call even though you're driving McLaren now. Sure.
Now, dear viewers, I'm not proud to admit, but when I'm a bit pushed for time and I'm peckish, it's very hard to resist a quick McDonald's drive thru. It's so convenient, it really is.
Welcome to McDonald's, and I please say get him.
Hi, good morning. Can I please have one junior cheeseburger?
Yes.
See, at the next window, I try limit it though, you know. I try just keep it down to just one junior cheese. I don't know how many calories that is, but it's important to me to, you know, portion control. Okay, now this is going to be tricky because that credit card machine is quite high up. Now the problem is that if I can't reach that credit card machine, because this door opens upwards, I won't be able to open the door to give myself better access. Okay. Thanks, can I tap? Oh crap.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Yes, you too. Have a nice day. Whoa! Okay, loud noises. All right, thank you. I think the reality is that supercars have become very usable, and you know, I think Audi got that right with the R8. But in becoming very usable, they're still not boring, you know, they haven't become dull. That's a really sort of tricky line for manufacturers to get right. But the reality about dailying something like this is that the world is very boring. The car is not, but everything around you is. There's traffic everywhere, there's pigeons, there's potholes, you know, people all over the road, checkers 60/60 bikes. And so you think to yourself, is this worth it? You know, do I need something like this as a daily? Maybe I should just get myself a Kia Picanto or something and not have as much stress. $30, okay, cool. Alright. Thanks. Oh, so close. Nice. Seatbelt. When I think of GT cars, Grand Tourers, I think of cars like the Ferrari 575 Maranello. Stunning car, but quite heavy, not the small, agile, light Ferrari that you might initially think of. So when you consider that sort of context, the 570, the McLaren, might not be the first thing that pops into your mind as a GT. But what I've learned today is that they've kind of managed to pull this off. This is like the best of a sports car and the best of a GT. There's actually tons of luggage space between the front and the back. It's really impressive. And they've done all of that and only added 32 kilograms to the weight of this car over a normal 570, which is virtually negligible, really, especially when you've got 465 kilowatts at your disposal. That's some pretty impressive engineering. Do you like surfing? I don't, but if you are a surfist and you want to daily a supercar, you actually don't have very many options because it's quite difficult to fit a surfboard into a supercar. However, the McLaren 570 GT has got you covered. today we've learned that the McLaren 570 GT is a very usable supercar. But is it still a McLaren? To find out, I've come to a country road where there's no traffic. Right, well, let's go. 8,000 RPM red line. What's always impressed me about McLaren engines is how quickly they rev up. That rev needle just jumps down into fourth. That's a very quick shift. Flying into this corner. This is such a nicely balanced car. There's a great amount of bite from the front, even though there's absolutely no weight over the front. How did they get that right? 465 kilowatts, 630 Newton meters from that 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 behind me. This is a quick car, 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds. Weight distribution is a little bit rear biased by about 7%, but I feel like this is just right. Yeesh! You can get on the power a little bit earlier than you'd expect to, and then there's just absolutely no end to the shove that you've got at your disposal. Oh yeah. There's quite an interesting quirk to the way this car is set up. The pedals are very offset to the left. The brake pedal's sort of in line with my left knee, and so you kind of sit at a little bit of an angle. It actually reminds me of old BMWs, and I wonder if that's just because of the shape of the tub and where the wheel arch is. And I think my only criticism, the only thing that's missing for me here, or that I wish was a little bit different, is the mechanical nature of the exhaust note. And it's the exact same feeling I had when I first drove the 720S. I don't find McLaren's exhaust note operatic enough. There's not enough drama. There's not enough vocalization of what the engine is doing. It's a thoroughly mechanical noise. And don't get me wrong, it's not boring. It's exciting enough. I just want a bit of, here's some Pavarotti out the pops. Pavarotti out the pops. I wonder if anyone's ever said that before. I think the key difference between cars like this and say something like an Audi R8 is that you really do feel the difference that a carbon fiber tub makes. It is so stiff, it is so rigid, and so the car's behavior feels quite predictable. There's no flex in the chassis, sort of acting as an uncontrolled fifth spring in your drivetrain. And you can definitely feel the lightness. You can feel that this engine is not having to push 2 tons around. But I really like the way this is set up for average drivers like myself. I enjoy the suppleness of this, or the relative suppleness of this suspension system. It feels like the car is a bit more predictable. I've driven the normal 570, and that car is a bit like the guy at the bar who just wants to pick a fight with everyone for no apparent reason. It's quite a hardcore car that. It challenges you, it's quite brutal, it's quite unforgiving. This GT, this is the suave gentleman at the bar who is excellent at Pilates, enjoys a 12-year-old scotch, he's got all his tax affairs in order, and you can sit down with him and have a great enlightening conversation, but when the opportunity arises, he parties like a rock star.
Thanks very much for watching. If you've just watched this video but you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, you absolutely should do that immediately right now. Click the subscribe button. It's a good idea for a bunch of reasons which I actually don't have really a lot of time to go into. But it's good. It's a good idea. Excellent. Thanks for watching. I said that already.
Budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.
Cars.co.za